Boundaries. They're really important. We all have them, but we don't often think about them or discuss and express them to the other people in our lives. But in your role as a mentor, boundaries are going to be really important. They're going to be really important for you to know what the boundaries are, and it's going to be important for you to communicate those boundaries so that there's a shared understanding and expectations with your mentees. There's going to be a different video that talks a lot more about some of the ethical aspects of your relationship. This video is more about your own boundaries in this relationship. And we have boundaries to protect ourselves. We want to make sure that the relationship that we are having with other people, that our behavior that we display towards them and how they communicate with us makes us feel safe and comfortable. And so some of the things to think about in terms of your own boundaries might be things like different kind of topics that maybe you're not comfortable talking about for some reason or another. It's totally okay to know what those topics might be, and if they do come up in a conversation with your mentee, to be able to say, listen, this topic here is not something I'm comfortable talking to you about, but I do want to find you a place where you can talk about that. You're also going to want to be thinking about your own time that you'll be giving to mentees, right? You want to be able to communicate very clearly when and how and for how much you'll be available to them. Is it going to be just certain designated periods that you're open to questions and talking with mentees, or can they just send you a message out of the blue? And how can they send you messages? Are you going to allow them to message you over Facebook? Are you going to get them to just send you an email? Are you going to give them your cell number so that they can text you? These are all different considerations, and these are all things that we will cover in further detail and provide you with suggestions around. So I really encourage you to communicate these boundaries early and clearly in some fashion to mentees. Maybe something's going to go out to them that lets them know how and when mentors will be available to them. Maybe it's a conversation that you want to have. And boundaries are healthy and normal. We're just not always used to thinking about them or talking about them. The only time we usually consider them is when they start to get violated or blurred. And so having this conversation early with mentees makes sure that there's a shared understanding or expectation around what this relationship is. And expectations are really important. When expectations are met, we feel good. When our expectations aren't met, we feel bad. And so having this shared understanding with the mentees will help avoid a lot of that and help keep the relationship productive, positive, helpful. And in fact, modeling this behavior for mentees can be a really important teachable moment, telling them that, it's okay for us to openly talk about how our relationship is going to function and off-limit areas or areas where I'm more comfortable, that we can do that with one another. That's a healthy thing that we should be doing in all of our relationships.